Hey guys, it's Angela here. So I've been getting so many fidget spinner DIY requests lately, and today I am finally bringing you the first of many fidget spinner videos. I have so many ideas that I want to put out. In today's video, I'll be showing you guys 3 different unicorn inspired fidget spinners made out of polymer clay. These are all without bearings. Obviously for today's video, you don't have to use these same colors that I used for my spinners. I just thought it'd be cool if I had some sort of a theme for my video, so that's why I did all of mine unicorn inspired. Before we get started, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button for me if you would like to see more fidget spinner DIY videos. And yeah, now without further ado, let's get started. Before making the spinner itself, we need to make some sort of a stencil, so I am just using Google Docs to print some out. The images I used were found online, and I will link them in the description box below in case you guys would like to use these same ones that I used. I resized the document page to make it like life size, so that way the size of the pictures I place would be true to size once they are printed. And to do so, I just lined up a sheet of printer paper to my laptop and then adjusted the zoom of the document on the screen so that way it would match up with the actual sheet of paper, if that makes any sense. You can also use small cookie cutters to cut out your shapes instead of using a stencil, but if you don't have any cookie cutters and are like me and don't want to go out and buy any, this stencil process works just as well. And after I've finished printing out my stencils, I am now just going to cut them out. Now I am taking my polymer clay and mixing white into the pink, purple, and teal clays to make them pastel. I also bought a really pretty opal clay with iridescent glitter in it, but it was really dry and chalky, so I mixed in some white to try and see if it would help, and it did. So if you guys have the same problem with your clay, just try mixing a smoother clay into the drier one. I made a few small snakes of each color and then twisted them all together a few times before rolling them out with my rolling pin in order to make my clay look marbled. This is enough clay to make 1 body piece and at least 2 finger pads, so I would make sure you have at least about like a golf ball sized ball of clay, and I recommend rolling your clay out to about a thickness of 5 to 10 millimeters depending on how thick or thin you want your spinner to be. After rolling my clay out, I lightly placed my stencil onto the clay and then traced around it with an X-Acto knife. Then I removed the stencil and followed the line I traced to actually cut it out. I used this process to make sure that I don't press the paper into the clay too hard, so that way the paper doesn't stick, because if it does, that could become like a total nightmare. And the process for making any shape is basically the same. So these same steps apply to basically any shape you choose to make. A trick that you can use for shapes with straight edges is to use a ruler to cut, and to make this small rectangular spinner you can also use a small keychain card as a stencil, like this one from American Eagle. After cutting all of my shapes out, I am just now smoothing the edges using my fingers to make sure that everything is even. In the center of my main spinner piece, I am cutting out a small hole using a straw, and you want to find the smallest straw you can to cut this hole out. Next, I'm cutting off the cotton ends of a Q-tip, and be careful because these ends go like flying, but I am using the remaining rod to make little indent spots in the centers of my finger pads. Make sure not to poke all the way through because we only want to mark a little spot for where the rod will be glued into the finger pad later on. After that, I am baking my finished polymer clay pieces in my oven according to the directions on the packages, which for me was 15 minutes for every 1/4 inch at 275 degrees. After taking my pieces out of the oven and letting them cool completely, I'm using this Mod Podge Dimensional Magic to give my spinner a smooth, shiny finish and also even more glitter because the one that I bought had glitter in it. If you don't want to have extra glitter, they also sell ones that don't have any glitter in them. This step is completely optional, but I think it gives a really polished look to the spinners. I am also gluing the Q-tip rod into the small hole of one of my finger pads. If your rod is significantly smaller than your straw, you can wrap a piece of tape around your rod to increase its circumference. I'm using one that is about 1/2 centimeter wide. After waiting several hours for my pieces to dry, I am now cutting a small piece of straw and gluing it inside the hole of the center of my main spinner piece. This will help to reduce friction so the spinner spins longer. Next, I am threading the rod through the straw and cutting most of the excess material off. You can save this for future DIY spinners. And finally, I'm gluing the other end of the rod to my second finger pad piece. And that is it. Here are my final products. My unicorn-inspired fidget spinners came out so cute and I think they look amazing. For more information about these spinners and the supplies I used, please check out the description box below. So that is it for today's video. Overall, I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button for me. If you guys would like to see a video on how to get cheap bearings and how to increase your spin time with bearings, be sure to comment down below and let me know. Also hit that subscribe button if you haven't already and would like to see my future spinner videos and also the other videos that I put out. And lastly, all my social media sites are linked in the description box down below. I am most active on Instagram, so be sure to follow me on there. And yeah, overall, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video once again, and I look forward to seeing you in my next one. Bye!